Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. For a minute, I was concerned that the laptop would not be working. Guys, I had a stressful morning already, just craziness. First, when I left to go to work earlier, and all this traffic. I think people are coming in or leaving because of the holidays next week, but it was bumper to bumper. And got to work 3 minutes just in time. And besides that, it's just craziness. And then, on my break, I sit and I do work and I have so many phone calls and to the point where I have to turn the phone off because it's all work related with my books and stuff I have going on. But I sat down at the laptop, right? And I have a printer and I do all my paperwork and stuff with the printer, scanning, etc. It's not working. It's one of those days where things are not working properly the way they should. So for 2 hours, I'm playing around with it, and it's telling me that the printer is not connected to the laptop. But then when I go through the steps and instructions and get to the end, it says it is. But when I go to turn it on and etc., the light keeps blinking, shut it off, shut it down, bring it up again, and nothing. So I said, okay, I had enough of this. And so it's like things not working properly today. That kind of day is what I'm having, things, traffic, etc. So what I did, because I was getting really irritated, so I said before I come on here, right, I'm going to put on some meditation videos. And I just, for like 20 minutes, just put on a meditation video that really calms my nerves. Because, I also have a young tech guy. About 20, he's about my son's age. And he's very good with this kind of stuff. But I have to wait until tomorrow to take the printer to him and a laptop to see what's going on because this is just, it's so irritating. And so once he checks it out, everything should be back to normal. So it's like, it's irritating. Um, so the topic of discussion today that we're going to speak about is speak out your pain and heal it. But before we do that, I just want to know if any of you guys have these kind of days and how you handle it. Because after 2 hours of sitting playing with a printer and laptop and stuff, it gets irritating. So just wanted to know how you guys handle it when you have these kind of days. Sometimes you just have to get away from everything and then just, you know, breathe or do something different for a little while and then go back to it. But in any event, I have no printer working right now, even though I changed the cartridge, all that other good stuff. So I have to wait until tomorrow. So everything I have to do, I have to use my phone to do it, which I don't like. But anyway, so I have to do what I have to do. But just wondering how you guys handle stuff like that. These things make me a little irritated. So anyway, speak out your pain and heal it. We're going to talk about that. It's important when you guys get on a bandwagon and you decide that you're going to heal some things in your life, especially when you go through grief and loss, and you decide that you're going to heal. You change certain things in your life, you know. And one of the things that I want to advise, well, I'm gonna reword that. One of the things that helped me, because I'm not on here to tell you guys what to do, only to share my experiences and how it helped me, you know, sort of like a testimony. Um, One of the things that I learned as I was going through all this healing and stuff that was taking place is to speak out the truths related to my pain without giving specific information, but just speak out certain things that have created pain and negativity in my life. And as I speak it out and talk about those things, it doesn't have a chokehold on my life or me anymore. And I've learned once I do that, and then after I do that, and I say, God, this is too much to bear, so I'm giving this to you. I'm done with it. And as I seriously do that, it changes somehow. It just changes for the better. I was a while back having a conversation. Um, like I said, on this channel, I don't give details like names and locations and stuff like that because I'm never going to do that. But I'm just sharing certain things on how the healing process and a path of healing has helped me to be forthcoming instead of just being upset about something, right? And then just hold it in. And people know you're upset about something because you're quiet, you're not talking, or you got an attitude or whatever, but you're not saying why. So I'm saying all this because not too long ago, a family member who I haven't spoken to in 15 years decided to break the ice and contact me and, talk about reconciliation, etc. So I let her talk, let her say everything, and then I said, we can talk about a reconciliation after you tell me what part you played in a betrayal against me. And it's like, what? Say what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about it because you see, I'm not that Lisa Vaughn who sit and just quietly sulk about something. And I'm on a path of healing, seriously, and it's not a joke. And in order for us to heal anything, we have to face that pain, whatever it is. And this particular family member did something that was a huge betrayal. So if you want to reconcile with me and, be family again, we have to talk about that. And, and I said, so what I need from you is for you to tell me what part you played in this betrayal and why it was done and etc. It's going to hurt me like hell. I already know that. But I already know a little bit about it, you see. And she sat there and said, what are you talking about? When people try to um, play you and make you think you're delusional, but you already have evidence of what's going on. You already know. And me, I don't come out and say gotcha or anything like that. I want to resolve it. So you want to resolve it. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the part that you played in this situation. And we're going to talk about how I'm affected by it because of it. But if you want to pretend it didn't exist, girl, what you talking about? Kind of attitude. We're not doing that delusional stuff. That's low vibrational stuff, and like I said, I'm on a path to heal and I'm not going to play those games. So as we went through the conversation, this person wanted to continue with the delusion. So I said, here's how we're going to end this. Until it's sort of like, you guys ever seen The Color Purple with Whoopi Goldberg? Until you do right by me, everything you touch is going to crumble. I didn't say that, of course. But what I said is that we're not going to reconcile or have any other conversation until you tell me the truth about the part you played in this betrayal. Because I already know what some of it is. And I'm not going to spin on a wheel. And we're not going to pretend, girl, what you talking about kind of attitude. We're not doing any of that delusional crap. You're going to tell me. Of course, it's going to cause pain because what I already know has caused pain. But the particulars of it is going to cause more pain. But I need to know, because if we're going to heal this and be family with this particular person I'm talking about, then we got to heal. We got to, because when you speak out those truths and you're ready to heal, you put a choke. It no longer has a chokehold on you. You release it then, and then you can move forward. And so it made me realize that this family member isn't ready to move forward, because if you were, then, because we had this conversation more than once. If you were, then you would speak the part you played in this, and then somehow we can try to put the pieces together, like Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall and breaking the pieces and trying to put it together. But if you're going to play the delusional stuff, then we're not putting anything together. I'm going to say, girl, bye. And that's the end of it. And I don't have to act out a character. I'm a woman, and I love everything about being a woman. I don't have to be ghetto or in the street or any of that stuff. I'm just going to speak some truth and quietly say, okay, when you're ready, we can talk. Otherwise, there's nothing to talk about. And if you're never ready, then you can lose my number, so to speak, and keep it moving, because I am on the path of healing. I'm not taking in toxicity. I'm not making excuses for it. And I'm not talking about people, a situation of a disagreement. I'm not talking about any of that, because we all have things in our life when you're dealing with people, every day, no matter who it is, we have disagreements. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about betrayals, and you got to speak your truth on that. And if you can't, then we don't have anything to say. And moving forward, that's it. And they become shocked by it, because the old Lisa would never say these things. I would just sit and hurt. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not on a path of hurting anymore. I'm on a path to healing. And in order to continue to do so, I have to speak out these truths. And as you speak these out, and then I give it to God, and then I keep it moving. I hurt for a minute. I'm human just like everybody else. Believe me, I hurt. But I have to keep moving. You know that song, I got to keep on moving, nobody's going to slow me down kind of thing? Yeah, I'm on that now. And I stay in prayer a lot. And when I get discouraged and feel angry, whatever, I put on some meditation videos. I go into prayer with God, asking Him to help me with this. And then I just keep going. I don't stop, just keep moving forward. But I have to address these things. If it's walking like a duck, it's talking and looking like a duck, and acting like a duck, then it must be a duck. And we need to address it. And when someone's not ready to do that, it's time to say, okay, when you're ready, we can talk. But we can't move forward until we address the issue. And that's the whole point here. Not moving forward until we address the issue. And everything else, when a betrayal, and I'm not talking about this, I'm going on to something else now. When a betrayal is so deep and so hurtful, I just cut off, block, and delete, because there's no reconciling that. And when a person is on that path, we're walking down two roads. I'm going one way and they're going the other way, and we just can't meet up and say goodbye. And that's it. And it was difficult to do these things, people. It really was, but therapy helps me a lot. Like I always say on this channel, I am not a certified therapist of any sort. I don't have a degree in therapy, but being able to talk about the hurts and the pains, all of this is affiliated with pain and grief, because even though grief, we talk mostly about passed over loved ones, but hurts, when hurts build up on top of hurt, it starts to wear and tear at your physical and mental health. So you combine all those hurts all together, stacked together. It starts to affect your mental and physical health. And if you want to be free of that, you got to address it. And it's hard to address it, because for a while before I started addressing anything, I would be in a fetal position, balled up, curled up, and like, God, I can't do it. I can't. People are going to not like me. People are going to hate me. And they already hate me if they doing this kind of crap behind my back. And then I find out the details of it. Girl, I thought you were my friend, or, you're supposed to be my relative. What's going on here? And then God wanted me to look at it, see what this really is, see behind that mask, see what's really going on. And then the more I saw, the more I was balled up in a fetal position, crying and crying and crying. And why and why I was doing that too, because I never did anything to these folks. Why are you doing this? Because I'm a generous, nice person, but I am not a dumber than a rock. There's nothing naive about me. I just give people chances like I would want chances. But sometimes you can't when somebody is determined to do some low vibrational stuff. It has to be addressed. I can't pretend and go on with someone and somebody, trying to set me up for failure and do the most and the worst. And in any event, because I'm not on that path of hurting somebody and setting people up, and I go into prayer with God, God is going to block it. He's going to remove it, especially when I go into prayer and ask Him to just remove it, because He will do that. But if I'm on some low vibrational BS, of course He's not going to answer that prayer. So this is why when I talk on this channel about prayer to God, is that genuine, be genuine, say how you feel. Those conversations you have with God, that's between you and Him. But make sure that you're not out here hurting people, setting people up for failure, trying to trap people into some negativity or whatever, because God is going to pass on through. And I've seen it time and time again. And I had to learn to stick up for myself, because I would just be, and like, I would always kind of like that, because in school I was this nerdy kid. Always, people want to do some stuff too, or say, oh, like in the beginning, chasing me and bullying me or whatever the case. And I grew up and I was like, well, I better not say A, B, C, or D, because that person is going to be mad at this. I always, like, how do you say it? Suppress my own feelings to, or what's that term that they use, guys, today? Put out my own light to let somebody else's light shine. And we can't do that. We can't do that. We have to be who we are. We have to be genuine and be true to ourselves. Even my English teacher, when I graduated from high school, said, Lisa, never sell yourself short. And I didn't understand what that meant until years later, until now, actually, And I don't have to be nasty with people or anything. Of course not. Excuse me, guys. So what it is that what I do is have a conversation. And if people are not ready to have those conversations, then we're not ready to be in each other's life. Even, let's say in the future, in the near future, when I'm ready to have a relationship with someone, it will be quite different, since I've on this healing path. Things that go on, we would talk about it. And if I did something to somebody, I'm sorry. And, what can I do better to fix this or whatever, and vice versa. That doesn't make you weak or pathetic. It takes a strong person to say, I'm sorry about something, to go to another individual and say, hey, I hurt your feelings, or I hurt you in this way. I didn't mean to, but I'm very sorry about it. Can you forgive me? And can we get past it? It takes a big person and a strong person to be able to do that, because most people don't care. Oh well, girl, you'll get over it kind of attitude. And they don't care who they step on, who they hurt. During a shutdown, when I was thinking about therapy, and somebody was talking to me about how helpful it is, and I was like trying to figure out what therapist I was going to use. So how you go and you talk to one and you try to figure out if you vibe with them. Well, when I first started doing that, before I got the therapist that I'm with now, and I was talking about a friend of mine. We were very close. She's a good friend of mine. And she's only a few years older than me. And she, during the shutdown, was found dead in her kitchen, I believe. And it was 2 days before we were supposed to get together and hang out. She was really a good person with a good heart. And, she would always encourage me when I talk about my mom and stuff like that. She's only 2 years older than me. And I think she passed away from a heart attack. And I actually went to her funeral, and it was the most difficult thing, because they were allowing people to go funerals here. It was the most difficult thing in my life. And then I had this particular person who was referred to me as a therapist say, well, she died happy. Are you kidding me? What? She died happy. I'm like, okay, no, this is not a therapist that I want to connect with. So little things like that will turn me off, and I said, okay, nope, don't want to see this person as a therapist, because I don't even have the words for what I just said. And it's just when somebody is grieving and going through grief and stuff, if you don't have anything to say or you don't know what to say, just listen to them and say, well, I'm here if you need me to just talk, for you to talk and for me to listen, because that's what some of us want, just for somebody to listen as we talk about that Passover loved one, instead of making comments that are so hurtful. Think about, and I try to do that today too. I'm training myself to think about things before I blurt them out. Yesterday, someone was saying something to me and it was making me a little bit uncomfortable. And so I started asking questions instead of jumping to conclusions, tried to look at it from a different perspective. And I'm glad I did that, because I learned that this person didn't mean what they said in a negative. And I was glad I was able to do that. But it took everything inside of me to do that, because the old Lisa was like, I'm going to shut this conversation down. And then that's ego, right? And I just started to listen and ask them to repeat what they were saying to me, and then explain what that means. Do you feel like this? Or is it in a positive manner? And I started doing things like that. And I got the answer. The person wasn't being negative at all. It was just the way they were expressing a situation. So sometimes people are not coming out in a negative. They just express it differently. We all express things differently. So now I'm doing what my therapist says: listen carefully and try to look at things from a different perspective. And if I don't understand it, ask questions, ask some more questions, so that I'm not jumping to conclusion on a negative bandwagon. And it worked out, good when I did that yesterday. Because sometimes we could be mistaken about things, and it's always good to speak out how you feel, and do it in a way that you're not hurting anybody else, but you got to speak out those truths. If someone or something hurt you, you got to speak that out. You don't have to tell the whole world and go into the particulars of it, but you speak it out so that you can release it. And so it doesn't have a chokehold or burden on your life. Like I just gave that example about a family member. It's been over 15 years, and it'll be another 15 if that person does not speak out these betrayals, because I already know, like I said, and I'm not going to be blinded to the fact and pretend. I'm not doing that, and I just keep it moving. So, and I want to talk about this in depth, about speaking out things, because it's part of healing. All these things are part of healing. And it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. When my therapist had me to do this at first, it was uncomfortable. And I just felt, some kind of way. But now it gets better, because I think about what I want to say and how I want to say it. And then I release it and keep moving on. And it's important, that now that I take this pain, which I've learned to do, and it took a lot to learn this, to turn the pain, not to succumb to pain, but to turn the pain into power, turn that power into purpose, and turn that purpose into paying it forward to help other people through testimonies that I'm sharing here on this channel. Because believe me, some people somewhere who are grieving so bad, who are losing hope, and maybe thinking suicidal, which we never want, and they come on this channel, they learn there is hope. They learn that other people are out there that's hurting just as much as they are. There's other people in this world who are going through the same kind of loss, the pain from the loss, and they're hurting too. But there are effective ways to get through it. Like I said, and like I always say, we never get over it, but we can get through the pain, and be a testimony and to somebody else who needs to hear the message. And that's why I'm always encouraging you all to subscribe to the channel, not only to subscribe, but to share it with other people, because you never know what someone else is going through, because they may not share openly, but they can tune into the channel and hear the message and it can uplift them. And that's why I'm going to try to be here as much as possible. Forget the haters, because I'm not tuning into that anymore. This is a positive channel to encourage, and build people up. And this is not a no judgment. This is, I'm sorry, guys, this is a no judgment channel here. That's what I meant to say. This is a no judgment channel. People, and we could talk about whatever you need to talk about, because it's therapeutic and it helps you to release it, you know? And send me comments on what you want to hear on this channel, and I will make it a point to talk about it here. Well, thank you all for being here today, and I hope you all are having a good day. And thank you for letting me vent at the beginning of this video today. And I'll let you know if I get this printer fixed, or I'm going to have to buy a new one or something. But anyway, this is the message for today. Thank you all. I'm so grateful for your support. And I'll be back with a new message tomorrow. And you guys have a great day. Bye for now.